Hello again everyone, Jim here. This is just been posted by Ubiquiti. There's been a security advisory today on anyone running the Unifi Network controller version 7.3.83 and earlier, as it is vulnerable to a cross-site scripting vulnerability, which would allow anyone, any malicious actor with site administrator credentials to escalate privileges by persuading an administrator to visit a malicious web page. Now, while this is something that could potentially be a bit niche because obviously the attacker has to have site administrator credentials. This could allow them, if they're on a shared controller, potentially to gain access to other aspects of that controller. The issues here is that Ubiquiti's fix for this is to update to version 7.4. Now, while 7.4 is out there and working fine for a lot of people, there are a lot of us with larger controllers and having issues with migrating to 7.4 because there are some significant changes, particularly around how VLANs operate and how the captive portal system has been updated in 7.4. And whilst some people have had no issues with upgrading, others have had issues, and it has caused some concern and some hesitancy to update to the 7.4 branch. So this is me putting a video out to say, Ubiquiti, please can we have a fixed version of 7.3 that's not vulnerable to this issue, whilst 7.4 gets time to mature. The current issues with 7.4 stem mainly around the captive portal, in that in the first release of 7.4, it removed all the payment systems to do with payment-based captive portals, with the exception of Stripe, which is still an out-of-date payment system, but this caused captive portals to break for people. The latest version has put some things back, but whilst doing that has also got problems with how you update to that version, whereby you may have to restore a backup of your controller. So there are some issues here. Now, 7.3 has obviously been around for a bit of time. 7.4 is still relatively new. And this is one of the potential issues and potential risks, obviously, with moving onto a platform like Ubiquiti, in that if there is a change to how something operates, issues like this may arise and cause problems for companies like ourselves, where we might not need to be on the latest and greatest version of the controller. We want a stable controller, obviously still hosted or self-hosted, but we may have issues around such a fix such as this, in that if I now update our central controller to 7.4, which I'm probably going to have to request Hostify, who we use, to do, this may break and will potentially take some of our sites offline until such time as we fix them, or in the case of payment-based systems, this could potentially break them permanently until Ubiquiti fulfill their release note promise that they will be fixing how payment systems work in the future with the captive portal. So, number one, if you don't have any issues updated to 7.4, get updated to the latest 7.4.156, which I believe has dropped into release candidacy and should be going to full GA very soon. But if you are having to stay on the 7.3 controller, you will need to be aware of this issue if you have a shared controller. But also, this is a request to Ubiquiti, as well as posting in the community, to say, please can we actually have a fixed version of 7.3 for companies that do not need to migrate to 7.4 yet, due to some issues that we are experiencing. So, hope you have a great day. I'll catch up with you soon.